talk about the endocrine system, histology. In endocrine system, we have different tissues, the pituitary gland or hypophysis, the adrenal gland, and pancreatic islands. Also, we have diffuse neuroendocrine system, and thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, and pineal gland. We don't talk about the diffuse neuroendocrine system because you know this system from the gastrointestinal system physiology and biochemistry, but the other glands, I'm going to teach you the other glands. Okay, you know the hormones. What is the hormones? Hormones produced in the cytoplasmic part of the special cells and then secreted to the outer side of cytoplasm and reach to their own targets via blood vessels. And the target cells of the hormones not present in the neighbor of the secreted cells. We have endocrine secreted hormone, endocrine tissue in different parts of the body, like in the pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal gland, and also in pancreatic islets and ovarian testis, some cells. Kidney, in kidney we have cells which produce the erythropoietin, for example, and also we have some cells in thymus and hypothalamus, and all of these tissues have a role in secretion of the hormones. Firstly, I'm going to teach you the pituitary gland or hypophysis. Hypophysis, as you can see here, composed of two distinct parts. The neuronal part, also known as the posterior pituitary or hypophysis, and anterior part or adenohypophysis. These two parts have two different origins. The neurohypophysis originated from neural ectoderm, but the adenohypophysis originated from the oral ectoderm. And then the oral ectodermal side detached from its origin and go to a connection with the neural side. So, in pituitary gland, we have two distinct parts, the neurohypophysis and adenohypophysis. Two distinct portions, we will talk about that. The adenohypophysis, also known as the anterior pituitary. In anterior pituitary or hypophysis, we have three different areas. The pars tuberalis, present in this part, pars intermedia, present in this part, and the largest part of the adenohypophysis is pars distalis. Pars distalis present here. And neurohypophysis composed of two parts, the pars nervosa and infundibular star. With infundibular star, the pars nervosa continue its connection with the hypothalamus. Okay? Now, you know we have two different parts in the hypophysis. And here you can see the embryonic development of the hypophysis. Here you can see the hypophyseal punch come from the oral ectoderm, and this part, the the neural ectoderm and combine it with each other and form our hypophysis gland. And here you can see detachment of hypophyseal bones from the oral ectoderm. Here you can see a section from the hypophysis. When you look at here, you can see a lighter area and a darker area. This lighter area recall you the nervous system. This part is our neurohypophysis. This large part is our pars nervosa, and here is our infundibulum. And in this part, we have a larger part here. This part is pars distalis of the adenohypophysis. Between the adenohypophysis, pars distalis, and pars nervosa of the neurohypophysis, we have this part with high amount of vacuoles. This part is our pars intermedia, and around the infundibular star, we have a part of adenohypophysis or pars tuberalis, which wrap the infundibular part. The other side of the pars tuberalis related with the adenohypophysis. In neurohypophysis, we have a tract which originated from the hypothalamus and connected with the infundibular part. Here you can see this connection axons, connecting axons and tract, which come to the pars nervosa. In hypothalamuses, we have two nuclear parts, the paraventricular nucleus and supraoptic nucleus. Paraventricular nucleus secrete the oxytocin, and supraoptic nucleus secrete antidiuretic hormones. These hormones, instead of releasing into the blood vessels in hypothalamuses, transfer via these tracts to the pars nervosa of neurohypophysis. And in the end piece of these tracts, hormones secreted to the pars nervosa, and blood vessels of pars nervosa can give the hormones and transfer the hormones to the target area. Okay? You should know the pars nervosa and neurohypophysis don't have any function related with production of hormone. This area is only the place of transfers of hormone which produced in hypothalamus nucleus and transfer to this part. Okay? In the different areas of this tract also a type of axon, you can see some enveloped areas, some swelled areas. In these swelled areas, we have the hormones, antidiuretic hormones and oxytocin, which connected with their own carrier and present in different sides of the axons. Okay? In the pars nervosa, we have high amount of blood vessels and also some special cells related with the neurohypophysis, and also we have the glial cells. Here you can see the blood supply of hypophysis. Hypophyses have own blood supply, and you can see the hypophyseal veins come to the posterior pituitary or neurohypophysis and form the capillary network, and then here you can see the arteries for capillary network and goes to the veins with normal circulation. And also in the infundibular part, we have superior hypophyseal artery which form a normal network of capillary. This network is primary plexus of hypothalamic hypophyseal portal system. This portal system continues with hypophyseal portal veins. And then these veins again form another capillary network without entering any artery. You can see entering out the veins, form a capillary and exit the veins. This system known as the portal system, because both of the entering and exiting vessels come from the veins. Okay? Portal system, hypophyseal portal system. Here is our secondary plexus of hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system. Can you understand this part? And hormones of the anterior hypophysis or adenohypophysis released to the circulatory system from this part. Can you understand? Now, we are going to talk about the different parts of the adenohypophysis and hormones which secreted from these different parts. As you know, we have pars distalis, pars distalis, the largest part of the adenohypophysis. In pars distalis, we have two different types of the cells. The cells which have affinity to the colors or stains, or chromophil cells and chromophobe cells. Chromophil cells can stain with our special dyes, acidophilic dyes and basophilic dyes. Some of these chromophil cells have high affinity to acidophilic dyes, and some of them have high affinity to the basophilic dyes. So, the chromophil cells divided in two subgroups, the acidophil cells and basophil cells. And also, we have chromophores. What is the meaning of these cells? Guys, all of these cells have nuclei, which is stated in purple. Here you can see all of the nuclei. We talk about the cytoplasma color, not nuclei. When we look at the cytoplasma of this cell, for example, you can see acidophilic color or pink color. This is the nuclei. We are not even looking at the nuclei now. We are going to look at the cytoplasma. Because the cytoplasma of these cells stated in pink or acidophilic, we told these cells is acidophilic cells. Now, let me look at the other part. For example, here, this cell. Look at the cytoplasma. Cytoplasma is stated in purple or basophilic. This cell is our basophilic cell, or this cell again is our basophilic cell. But look at this cell. Here is our nuclei and this is the cytoplasm. Can you see high affinity to the acidophilic or basophilic dyes? No. Here you can see clear cytoplasm. This cells is our chromophobe cells. These chromophobe cells is a type of stem cells of acidophil and basophil cells without any granules, secretory granules in their cytoplasm. Guys, the acidophilic cytoplasma and basophilic cytoplasma related with the type of granules, secretory granules in the inner side of the cytoplasm. For example, acidophilic cells can produce the somatotropin and also somatotropin or growth hormone, and also can produce the prolactin. Because of the structure of growth hormone and also the prolactin, the cytoplasma of these cells is stained in pink. But the basophilic cells have different content. For example, basophilic cells can produce the gonadotropins and also the cortisols or corticotropin hormones. Because of that, the cytoplasma of these cells is stained in purple. Can you understand? Look at here again. In this part we have the chromophobe cell. Look at the cytoplasma. It's clear. Here we have acidophilic cells. The cytoplasma is stained in pink. And basophilic cells here, cytoplasma is stained a little dark. Also you can see high amount of capillaries between the cells. For example, here you can see sinusoidal system in this. And here again you can see another type of staining. With this staining, again you can see the sinusoids here, chromophobe cells, basophilic cells, and acidophilic cells in this. With immunohistochemistry, we can stain the granules in the inner side of the cytoplasma with special dye. Here you can see special immunoglobulin which used to stain these cytoplasmic granules, and also under the electron microscope you can see high amount of granules in the inner side of the cytoplasma. This is an example of the somatotrophic cells. Somatotrophic cells, a type of acidophilic cells which can produce the growth hormone. In pars tumeralis, again, we have same structures, but in pars tumeralis, generally we have gonadotropin secreting cells. The gonadotropin secreting cells, a type of basophilic cells which can produce the gonadotropes. In pars intermedia, again, we have same structure, but in pars intermedia, we have high amount of vacuoles present in the middle side of the pars intermedia, and also the cells of pars intermedia have a function in the producing of the melanocyte stimulating hormone and gamma LPH and beta endorphin in this part. Okay, here you can see pars intermedia, pars distalis in this part, and pars nervosa here. In pars intermedia, we have these large cysts or colloid cysts present only in the pars intermedia. Okay, this slide is very important. Here you can see different hormones which produce from the different cells, and and major function. Let me talk about this part. Okay. In acidophilic cells generally have a role in production of the growth hormone and also production of the prolactin. But the basophilic cells have a role in production of corticotropes, gonadotropes, and thyrotropes. Thyroid stimulating hormone come from the basophilic cells. The hormones which produced from different cells is very important. You should know this hormone. The gonadotropes, the type of basophilic cells, can produce two types of the hormone, the follicular stimulating hormone and LH, or luteinizing hormone, and also the hormones which produce from the corticotrope cells. They produce the pro-opiomelanocortin, or POMC, and this POMC can change it into the polypeptide hormone of the ACTH and beta lipoprotein, which have a role in the adipose tissue metabolism. Here again you can see same thing. The gonadotropes, for example, produce FSH and LH. The lactotropes and somatotropes is our acidophilic cells, and the rest ones is our basophilic cells. The high amount of acidophilic cells related with the somatotropes, and 50% of total harsh distalis cells related with the somatotropin, which produce the growth hormone. It's very important, you should know the hormones. Here again you can see the hormones which produce from the hypothalamus. These structures can induce the function of the hypophysis gland. And here we can see the TRH, prolactin releasing hormone, GnRH, corticotropin releasing hormone, growth hormone releasing hormone, and also we have inhibitory hormones like prolactin inhibiting hormone and growth hormone inhibiting hormone. These hormones produced in the hypothalamus and then come to the anterior pituitary part or to the adenohypophysis and can affect basophilic and acidophilic cells to produce their own hormones. For example, thyroid releasing hormone can affect the basophilic cells, and also prolactin releasing hormone can affect the acidophilic cells. GnRH, corticotropin releasing hormone, and related with the basophilic cells, and growth hormone releasing hormone related with acidophilic cells. And after affect the cells with hormones from the hypothalamus, the adenohypophysis started to produce, for example, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, produced from the basophilic cells and can affect the thyroid gland to produce the thyroid hormone. And also melanocyte stimulating hormone can affect the melanocytes to produce the melanin pigment, a melanin synthesis. And also here you can see growth hormone can affect the liver to produce insulin-like growth factors. And these insulin-like growth factors can affect the muscles and adipose tissue and lead to the growth in the hypophysis, in the epiphysis plate. I forgot the name of that plate in the bones. Epiphyseal plate, yes. Epiphyseal plate in the bones to grow and also affect the adipose tissue. Prolactin releasing hormone can affect the mammary gland to produce the milk. And FSH and LH can affect the ovary and testis, and also ACTH affect the adrenal cortex, and we will talk about adrenal cortex in next slides. Here you can see hormones again, and the functions of these hormones. You can read this part for yourself, it's very important. Here you can see the negative feedback loops of anterior pituitary secreting system. For example, here you can see thyroid releasing hormone produced in hypothalamus and affect the adenohypophysis to produce thyroid stimulating hormone. This hormone can increase the levels of the thyroid hormone in the blood. After thyroid hormone increasing, we need to block the secretion of the thyroid. Here you can see thyroid hormone negative feedback to block the secretion of the hypothalamus, thyroid releasing hormone, and adenohypophysis TSH. With this blocking, you can see a negative feedback of hormone in the hypothalamus and hypophysis. Okay, in neurohypophysis, we have special glia cells, which known as the pituocytes. These pituocytes present in the structure of neurohypophysis. Here you can see our pituocytes, and also we have capillaries, and also we have special structure to the neurohypophysis. This special structure is our hairy bodies or neurosecretory bodies. What is these structures? These structures is swallowed part of axons. Remember, I talked about the hormone transfers from hypothalamus to hypophysis with that tracts. In some parts of that tracts, hormones and their carrying proteins form swallowed areas in the structure of axons. These swallowed areas appear with this shape. This shape is a part of axon and related with the hormones and their carrying protein, known as the hairy bodies or neurosecretory bodies, special for neurohypophysis. Don't forget. Do you have questions from this part? Also, you can see capillaries between the glia cells. In neurohypophysis, we have two types of hormones, the antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin and oxytocin. You know the source of these hormones, which come from the hypothalamus. The antidiuretic hormone can increase water permeability of renal collecting duct, can inhibit the secreting of water to the urine. And also, you can see the oxytocin. What is the role of oxytocin? Oxytocin have a role in the contraction of mammary gland secreting cells. With this contraction, the milk can enter into the ducts and go to the outer side of the body. We have two hormones which affect the mammary glands. The first one is prolactin, have a role in producing of milk. The second one is oxytocin, have a role in secreting of milk, secreting of the, stimulate the contraction of the mammary gland and secretion of the milk, not productive. Okay, do you have questions related with hypothalamus and hypophysis? Okay. Let me stop the video in this part, and after 5 minutes we will go into continue.